Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fred Kreisman, Commissioner of the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. It's great to be here in Williamsburg. First of all, I just want to thank Beth Chana for opening up its doors for us today. Kosenberg Yeshiva, thank you very much. I also want to thank Community Board 1. We want to thank UJO Williamsburg, the JCC, for helping us co-host this event. Really thank the Brooklyn North. We are joined today by the 7990, PSA 3, a host of agencies here today. We have, of course, we'll hold all the applause to the end. We have the Mayor of the City of New York. We have the Deputy Mayor for Administration and the Chief of Staff of City Hall, Camille Joseph Varlick. We have the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, Kaz Daughtry. We have the Deputy Mayor for Operations, Jeff Roth. We have from the Deputy Mayor of Intergovernmental Affairs, Chief of Staff, Kristen Rezik. We have Menashe Shapiro, the Deputy Chief of Staff of City Hall, as well as Senior Advisor. To my right, we have Mark Stewart, Deputy Commissioner for NYPD. Adonis Rodriguez, Commissioner from the Department of Transportation. Marty Marr, the Borough Commissioner for Parks and Recreation. Michael Saldino from Sanitation, the Chief Russ Reagan from F Fire Department, Division 11 Commander. So I just want to really thank this community for old friends here with diverse issues. We work with throughout the CB1 with all communities here. It's a diverse community. We appreciate the cooperation, coordination with the community board all the time. We work with issues ranging, but this focus of this meeting here is public safety. That's why we're joined by these operational agencies. We know the coordination efforts, the time, devotion given, and even recently at Lag BaOmer, when we had the celebration, the coordination with cleanup to ensure safety. I remember the days when 23 people would get injured and the fire burnings, and then the coordination with the work of Hatzolah, Shomrim, all the community organizations to ensure working with the sanitation, fire department, police department, and ensuring safety. And this is the working relationship with the community. But of course, everyone can have some community concerns, so that's why we brought the agencies here. But the working coordination with all the communities here in the greater Williamsburg area, we appreciate you being here today and taking the time. At this time, I just want to give it over to the mayor, and then we'll open up for Q&A.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here. It's good to see many of you, Rabbi Niederman, Moish Endick, and so many of you that are out tonight. And this is number what? 40 town halls. This is our 40th town hall. And our goal is to get on the ground and communicate with you directly and hear from you directly. We do it all over the city. I think we did about 25 adult town halls in our older adult centers. We did, I need my jacket. It's cold in here. You guys don't have any heat?
Stuff done.
Right. And we, yesterday we did an older adult town hall, so our goal is to get on the ground and hear from the community directly. I know this community. Not a new friend. I'm an old friend. And I don't need a GPS to find Williamsburg. Been here many days as the borough president. And even as the state senator, I didn't represent this community, but I was here many days listening to your concerns. And this is a very interesting community for me. You don't ask for much. You want to educate your children in the manner in which you want your children to be educated. You want your streets safe. You want to be able to walk in your synagogues without being harassed and treated in a disrespectful manner. I don't know a community that's closer to law enforcement than this community. And we fought many battles together. And as there you are, Abe, how you doing? As I think about the journey. Go back to January 1st, 2022. Crime was high, unemployment was high. We were dealing with the lack of affordable housing. Matter of fact, I think Rabbi, we just finally got the square right. That's right. Got it done. More jobs in this city, in the city's history. But something that's attractive to all of you, we have leaned into small businesses. You are being harassed for generations. Every little thing that happens in your businesses, you are getting fined. People started with the citation book first. We went in and we changed that mindset and changed that concept. We want your business to thrive in this city. NYPD removed over 21,000 illegal guns off the streets of the city of New York. Investing into summer youth employment. We want to make sure that you are aware of all the services we have available. Your elderly should know about SCREE, where you can get your rent froze. They should know about DRE if they're disabilities. They should know about WIC, some of the programs that is provided throughout the city. Williamsburg should know about all those services that are available so that you can communicate in the manner in which you communicate. Your community, you have a specific way of how you share resources and opportunities, and we want you to be very much engaged. That's what our city is about. And we have probably the largest administration where men and women came from the Hasidic and Orthodox community. I don't think there's anyone in this room that don't know Richie Taylor. And so tonight, we just were receiving a large number of inquiries and information around public safety here and your concerns for public safety. And we want to immediately identify and go after those concerns that you have. We have our law enforcement personnel here, our chief and our captains that's here. We have Deputy Mayor Daughtry that's here. So we want to hear directly from you. And be candid and be Williamsburg. And share your thoughts on what we can do as a city to continue to provide a vital service for you. Joe, I see Joel Friedman is over there also. How are you, Joe? So why don't we start this up? Do we have a list? Yes. How are we flowing?
So this will be people signed up here, and we're going to go in order of the list. Give the head of the non-for-profit an opportunity to speak as well. First, before we go to the list, Rabbi David Niederman and Moish Shindig, if you want to say something, then we'll go down the list.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you are not a guest over here, but you're welcomed as you have been here the first time. And we appreciate that you came, as you said, to hear from everybody here. May I say something? You caught a page of took a page of my book. I wanted to talk about what it meant, the city of Yes, to a community that is plagued by the lack of affordable housing. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you have a nickname, and it's called GSD, Get Stuff Done. Let me thank you for something that happened this week. As a frequent flyer here to Williamsburg, we met at the Atzala garage in March, and I asked you, Mr. Mayor, to intervene that thousands of families in the Jewish community and all over in the city should not lose the much needed vouchers for working families so that both parents can work and bread on the table. You have responded. Millions of dollars. The state put in millions of dollars, and you matched that, and that was done this week. Thank you for saving our families.
Thank you. Thank you. Let him finish. He's saying something good. Let him talk as long as he wants.
The mayor knows what I'm going to say. So, yeah. So, Mr. Mayor, I know where your heart is, and may I present to you the plea of the families over here when we're dealing of safety. And safety is not only not to be shot with a gun, which you are doing wonders on removing them, but also safety on the streets when our small children have to cross and go onto their buses. We have just installed, was 6 months ago, installed a bike lane on Bedford Avenue, just a block away. And we have presented at that time a study to the DOT saying how dangerous it might be that thousands of children in these few blocks have to board buses, tens of buses a day, and with a protected bike lane, it creates a problem. We have presented that. Unfortunately, there was no real give and take, and it was installed. And we urge you, again, please, for the sake of our children, your children, Mayor, children of the city of New York, to take another review, and we respectfully present to divert the bike lane to a place where it is safe, both for the bikers and also for the children. We shouldn't see what's happening in the past few weeks. So one child knocked down another child and another child. DeKalb Avenue is a route. I'll present again my presentation to the DOT commissioner, and I respectfully hope that it will be considered. Thank you for getting things done.
Yeah, I want to go. Well, first want to go because you talked about a couple of things. First, the voucher issue. This was a state program where the state encouraged us to sign up as many children as possible. And after we did so, they did not live up to their commitment. But I'm clear, we're not going to leave our children behind. We're going to continue to do what we said we're going to do and make sure that the children who are in need are going to get the support that they deserve. So that's very important to this administration. Commissioner, you want to talk about this bike lane?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as the leadership of the Jewish community know, having Penny here, Ringo, and Keith, our Brooklyn Borough Commissioner, we always respond to your ask. And we are more than happy to be open to your ideas and suggestions. One thing that we should know is that before this bike lane from 2018 to 22, we have 18% of injuries of children and biking and pedestrians in this area. So this is the area that had the second largest numbers of pedestrian fatalities and crashes in the city. More than happy again to hear your plan, and if anything that we can do, we are not coming with a mentality to impose. And Mayor always say we need to hear from the community, and we need to put the best plan. New York City last year, we had 226 million bike trips compared to 98 million that we have in 2009. So definitely that community of people who are biking is part of our city. We have to also organize our space for everyone to walk, to bike, to drive the car, being safe. I'm more than happy to follow with your suggestions.
So tell me something. I'm curious. Commissioner, what you said there was a new route that you proposed. What was the route that you proposed?
the way it's now, it goes to Flushing Avenue. Flushing Avenue is as is let's not call it a danger, but a very difficult street. The fatalities over the past few years. And we have asked to divert the bike lane on Bedford to DeKalb, where there they will have safer routes to proceed.
We do, but we are open to, I think that they have a specific proposal on how to reroute the bike lane. This is something that we can, again, sit down, have this conversation. We are still looking at the data that we have. But again, one of the things that mayors always say is that we have to make everyone accountable. It mean also, if we have, as we are planning our space for people to bike, we know the concern that also you have brought to us when it came to some children that they are crossing the street, that they are coming from the buses, that you feel that they must be safer. So what I'm saying is that we are more than happy to follow all the conversation with the leadership, Bennett and Keith, having meeting with them, and we are open to hear your suggestions.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's give the commissioner the proposal, because if I see you and Moise here, something must be concerning. So let's give him the proposal. Let him look at it. We have heard concerns about it before, and we were out in Rockaway a couple of months ago, and there was a bike lane by Rockaway Beach that people were concerned about as well. So give the proposal to the commissioner and let us look at the conversation, all right? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So I want to give an opportunity for Moise Shindig.
Moise.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to thank you again. As we know that you're not a stranger, but we're always happy to see you again. Thank you for coming. And I would like to echo what Rabbi Niederman just said about the school vouchers. It was a major, major deal for the community, for all communities, but for our families. 10, 12, 15 children, and this is very hard to be able to sustain without this help. Your help is always very much appreciated. I want to thank you for all the hard work you do. Safety, kids, especially for our children. Now, to follow up what Rabbi Niederman said about the bike lane, I want to clarify. Our community have nothing against bike lanes. We appreciate bike lanes. A lot of our kids also bikers. It's not a problem. But at the same time, when we want to protect the bikers, we also have to protect the pedestrians and especially our children. Since the new protective bike lane was installed last summer over here in Williamsburg, we have Hatzola, Chavayram, Shamram. They have all the statistics and the numbers. I think it's about 11 or 12 major accidents with small little children. The number we have between DeKalb and Flushing is about 2,500 children being dropped off and picked up daily from the school buses. So we had a meeting with Rabbi Niederman and some of the DOT. It's a great plan for the bikers to be able to get from point A to point B, means coming down Atlantic Bedford, be able to get to Greenpoint, Williamsburg North. So I think there would be a great, great help for the community, for the children, and for the bikers. So we ask you, please look into this again, and please help us with the bike lane as you do with all the other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm going to, the commissioner is, his way of balancing out to make sure we could have win-wins on all sides are important. So I'm going to look at, the commissioner will show me both proposals, what we have now and what you guys are proposing, make sure he gets it, and then we'll revisit the conversation. Thank you. Next.
So we're going to go down the sign-in sheet. Next name is Emily Lipstein. If you could raise your hand.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Grab the mic so we can hear you.
So much. Hi.
How are you?
Good, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good.
Well, thank you for coming out to this community. I've lived in this neighborhood for 6 years. I used to live on Bedford Avenue and Myrtle. I now live a little bit further afield in the neighborhood. I wanted to tell you about a crash that I got into in 2021. There was a driver who didn't totally know where they were going. They went the wrong way almost down Lafayette, trying to go west versus east. And once they realized what happened, they pulled into what was then a non-protected bike lane, stopped short, and I didn't have time to react, and I crashed into the back of their car and fell into the middle of the road in Bedford Avenue. And thank goodness I was okay. I care very deeply about making sure that nobody is hurt in my neighborhood, either in the way that I was hurt, being hit by someone on a bike, being hit by someone on a motorcycle, being hit by, any other sort of vehicle or whatnot. But something that I do notice at the same time is that there have been moves to try and make the bike lane work for everybody, but a lot of those things are not necessarily being observed. There are these areas that are in the middle of these, the blocks are very long, from DeKalb up to Flushing on Bedford. And there are these mid-block crossings that the DOT installed that have these really great signs where it's like pedestrians crossing here, no standing zones for the cars. That helps because you would hope that the buses would then stop and drop the kids off there. That doesn't seem to be happening. The cars are parked there all the time, and I walk to the subway, I walk to a cafe or to the grocery store. I see cars parked there during the no standing hours all the time, and it just makes sightlines very difficult. I don't know if that's like an NYPD enforcement thing, but I just really want to make sure that we're exploring all of the options to keep our communities safe. And understanding that, it's everybody has to give a little and everybody has to work together in order to keep everybody safe. And one more short little thing, I'm sorry to
Take your time.
I had an experience a couple of weeks ago where there were a bunch of kids who put cinder blocks into the middle of the bike lane in some cardboard boxes in order to stop people from biking through. It was impossible to see that there were cinder blocks in these boxes. Thankfully, I was able to stop and move them to the side of the road. The kids put them back. It's something where it's like, how are these kids, kids can be kids, but at the same time, it's like, how are you getting to this point where, as a whole community, we're fighting like this versus coming together and working on solutions? Nobody wants to get anybody hurt. And how do you really come together? And so that's kind of why I came here and wanted just to, have the opportunity to let you know this personally. Solutions need to be found, and solutions that do keep everybody safe are going to be the most important thing here.
First of all, sorry for that accident you had. Were you when you went into the back of the car? You were on a bike?
I was on a bike, yes,
Okay.
sir.
And it's really, and you're right. Kids are going to be kids.
Yeah.
And we can't encourage them to do something that's reckless.
Absolutely.
Like that. That's so important. And finding that balance is crucial because I'm a biker, so I realize that. But you also said something that's very important. That was my observation when I walked in here, and we need to be clear on this. We have many different ideas in communities, folks, but we can't have division within the community. There's no reason the bikers are sitting in that corner and you guys are sitting here. We should all be intertwined. We don't have a biker Williamsburg and a Hasidic Williamsburg. We have one Williamsburg. And we should feel comfortable of sitting among each other, even if we disagree on an issue. But I bet you this, not one person in this room believes our children should be unsafe. Not one person in this room believes that our families should be victims of crimes. Not one person in this room believes that we should have the right to go and worship where we want to. Now, one person in this room believed that that couple in Washington, D.C. that was assassinated should have been treated that way. If we don't start learning to do the basic of sitting together, we'll never do the challenging things of living together. And we got to think about that. We got to think about that. We're all in this together. And we're going to disagree sometimes. I disagree with myself sometimes. It's all right to disagree. But we can sit down and figure it out. Because if we don't sit down and figure it out, you know what happens? Two innocent people that loved each other were going to try to get married, would be killed, and someone would stand over the woman and continue to shoot. That's what happens when folks don't talk.
Next person on the list is Shimon Weiser, Community Board 1, First Vice Chair.
You still on Community Board 1?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I think you appointed me years ago. Thank you very much. It's a community safety issue. As the first vice chair of the community board, there was a concern about approving the curbside dining and the sidewalk cafes. This has been an issue that's come up at the community board. The issue is that the community board doesn't have only a 30-day period to comment on these applications. We have sent, community board has sent a letter to DOT asking that this be extended at least for 60 days so that the neighbors can comment. There's also no mechanism with the new sheds that the DOT has, but COVID was very, very common that increased the business, that restaurants had the sheds on the sidewalks. Now, after the program is carried on, but the neighbors have no say about the sheds, and then there's the issue with the licensing of liquor, and the neighbors, there's no mechanism that they can say if they approve it or they don't approve it. So what we're asking is that the DOT should consider extending the period of 60 days so that the community residents and they come to the community board and raise their concerns. That's the first issue I want to talk today. The second issue is that every community, a lot of communities in the city have the issues, and the city of New York is accommodating. It's great to see. Example is like the Sabbath parking on Friday. The DOT changed certain avenues for the Friday afternoon parking to allow the meters to work till 7 o'clock, so that they can more parking for the residents, which is a great thing that New York DOT implemented. What I'm asking today is that the same concern, the sanitation should realize that the local schools, Orthodox schools, start the schools much later than the general public schools. Therefore, the sanitation pickups of the garbage should be picked up before 8 o'clock in the morning, because then the buses are going around and picking up the children who are waiting with their moms, and they arrive late to school because the garbage truck is holding up the buses from passing. And also, it's sometimes cold, sometimes hot, the mothers with small children. Only asking that was promised to the community many times, but the sanitation, they would accommodate this request. I would just ask them again and again to keep to their word, and they should change the route. They should pick up during the night or be finished by 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.
Talk to me. Talk about DOT.
So the dining out is a larger one that we have in the nation. It's happening here in New York City. Before COVID, there was only 1,250 sidewalk cafe. As a former council member appointed community board, he went through community board. So before COVID that was the number. During COVID, people built sidewalk in the roadway, sidewalk. Many people built beautiful, but they were building without code. They were building without regulation from the fire department. So from 2020 to 23, we revised the program. We worked with the city council. The 30-day review is not our decision. That's the New York City Council decision. So a lot of things that we have a window in which we can operate. We do believe that the number that we have so far, which overpassed 3,000 sidewalk and roadway dining out, is a program that is going well. It's a program that, we will see more restaurant owners using the sidewalk than the roadway, because the sidewalk is a year round and the roadway is only from April to November 30. Penny is the deputy director. One of our guy here, our liaison on many work that we do, and he oversees not only a lot of issues that we have brought today, but Penny Ringo is the deputy director for the sidewalk program. So more than happy to follow with you. But some people in elected office, they have criticized the sidewalk or the city council, but what they don't talk is that they are the one who passed the bill. So we have limitation. We cannot give the 60 days because the city council say you, DOT, have 30 days that you can provide to the community board.
So that's very important. When the bill was passed, the city council gave us a lot of restrictions on what we can do. Like Albany often give us restrictions. So if we can go back, get your city council person to talk about these, was it 60 days? We do what, 30 days now? Right. Okay. Talk to me, the Department of Sanitation. Talk to me. Talk to me about this. Who's one of you?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Do you understand this question? What he was asking for?
It just kind of briefed me just now on it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is this, because I know you've been talking to the chief about the same issue. I know we tried on Skillman particularly to ensure that we can accommodate what you want. But allow us to do this. By the end of this evening, let's talk again, and I'm going to have the chief and chief enforcement there sit with you, and then we're going to go over it, okay, and see what it is that we can do to ameliorate the situation, okay?
Okay. I don't want to be back here at one of these weddings and they tell me we haven't resolved this. So we got to come. This is a simple fix. This uniqueness. I think we did something in Borough Park years ago. Yeah, there was something, because while the buses are on the road, if the trucks are on the road, that's a real problem. So we got to come to a resolution, and we're doing the shift in pickup already, right? Yeah. So let's we're going to resolve this, to see how we figure it out, because this traffic is already bad. Flushing is a mess, So let's figure out how we can resolve this.
Okay. Next question, Rachel Fisher. If you could raise your hand.
How are you, Rachel?
Please. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being here. I need to speak to you about my grandmother, Blanca Felberbaum. She's a frail Holocaust survivor turning 104. Your amazing staff member, Ori Frankel, knows her and visits her, and he's very good with her. Despite her age, she's facing a terrifying threat of eviction. Krauss management of Bedford Gardens drastically increased rent for Section 8 tenants. Now they're doubling and tripling the tenants' share for overhoused seniors like my grandmother, from $416 to $1,158 in my Bobby's case. These seniors are on fixed incomes, and they simply can't afford it. My family already struggles to help pay her current rent. The management deferred the rent increase through August. Come September, the tenants must pay the higher amount, even if the management doesn't offer them a right-sized apartment. My Bobby cannot move. She's a very old, frail lady, and the situation is a very terrible burden on her. We and the UJO believe, and HPD agrees, that the increase doesn't apply to the tenants' out-of-pocket share. Yet, these tenants keep getting these bills, and it's causing my grandmother and all the seniors immense anxiety and fear of being evicted. Mr. Mayor, please protect these vulnerable tenants. Convene a meeting with the HPD, us, and the UJO to end anxieties of my grandmother and elderly residents. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, we have Nicole Simmons from HPD.
Yeah, because that's a senior in fear of losing their home is real, and we can't allow that to happen. And I don't know, was something misinterpreted? Like what's?
So, hi, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Good. So thanks so much for that. You know, we know that there have been notices that have been going out to residents about this. But the very important thing that I think you hit on there is that there haven't been increases. We are in touch with Kraus, and Kraus has made it clear that they're not requiring any overhouse residents to downsize. That hasn't happened, and that's not something they're saying happening. And they're also providing a rent credit for the Section 8 payment reduction so that overhoused tenants don't have to see any increase. I know you said you recognize that, and I'm happy that you realize that, but we don't want to cause any stress to anyone that is getting these notices anyway.
Right, because it's extremely stressful for her.
You're absolutely right. So first thing is that we're clear on what's going on, and we know that there isn't a burden that's being put on the residents. That's the most important part. But yes. Secondly, we hope that you'll share that. But we'll also work to make sure that the residents are aware of that. We're happy to work with you towards that. And our Mitchellama unit, I can go back with them and we can work on making sure that the word gets out to them. But I'm glad you did know that. And please make sure that other residents know that, because that's not a burden that we want to put on. Like the mayor said, that is the last thing that someone in your grandmother's position wants to be in. I'm sorry she's being stressed by that.
Thank you.
So hold on. So you understood? I'm sorry, ma'am. So you'll be able to tell your grandmother, relax. You know?
I will.
Right.
She is very burdened about it, and it's very hard on her.
Okay. And so, and our HPD wearing FD&Y jacket and camouflage, you know. You know, so Cass, why don't you make sure she has some swag, you know, that says HPD. Okay, she's going to come and see you, okay?
Okay.
All right. No,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll also work with the local non-for-profits to help with the messaging.
Right. Let's do that.
No problem. Moses Weiser.
Moses, how are you?
Fine. We're going back quite a while.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, there's a concern in this community. A lot of agencies like the Con Edison, Brooklyn Union Gas, get contracts to do stuff in the community. And we realize sometimes we try to talk to them before a high holiday, when the shopping spree is very busy, the streets are congested. Please work around that should be easy for the community to go shopping, traffic. Some agencies, these contractors, work with the community, and some just don't care. We had a few months ago, came middle of the night, closed down 2 streets on Bedford Avenue, jigging, drilling, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, families with kids, wake up, he talked to them, it's an emergency. Every job is an emergency. I can tell you one contractor, Howland Construction, was the only company where they really work with the community, and they really work constantly. So we asked if anything the city can work with the community leaders, when they should come, how to be done. Second one, same like the curbs on the corner of the street, doing these sidewalk curbs. The best time to do this, I think, is the summertime, when there are less people in the community, so people can walk and go on streets. And last but not least, I want to talk about the local precinct. We have a commander over here, and he has 2 great guys. We call them the 2 Kennys in the precinct. 2 community affairs, always there for the community. As much cops won't be present, they're always there. One is Detective Melendez. Everybody knows him here. Then there's Officer Dewar. Officer Dewar is like 10 years in the job, 5 years community affairs, and everybody loves him. I think as us all community should recognize him what he does, and I really think it's time he should be bumped up and be promoted, because he's something more like. And I don't think anybody is different. No, I know it is.
Are the detectives here? Are they here?
Kenny Melendez is over here. His partner's on vacation this week.
And who's the other one?
Kenny Dewar.
Yes, yes. Those are your guys?
And everybody knows them.
Yes.
Everybody knows them.
Yes.
So,
And then, I think the mistake that we make is that we look at promotions based on how many gun collars you have, how many robbery collars you have, but we don't look at how many have you prevented. And Deputy Commissioner Stewart had a young detective who did the baby showers in the real estate, did some good stuff. And, we promoted him because it's not only about how many people you arrest, but how many people you prevent from doing something to get arrested. And so I'm sure the commissioner is going to put their name in and see if they can be promoted.
Your mouth and the commissioner's work. Hope it's going to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure seeing you in Williamsburg.
Always.
And Moses, we had this talk a couple of times. You've been in my office a couple of times.
Yeah, the curve.
And with the first question, I think that Penny Rengo is the best person to give details. As you know, we've been working with the rest, you and many leaders here, that when those days came, that construction should not be happening. We work with a utility company. We meet with them every 3 months. And we know that from the milling to the paving, there's, those days that they are cutting the street, but we also know that they have to take into consideration, like those days that they should not be doing any work. But I would like to call up Penny, who is our not only deputy director for the dining out, but he's the person that when anything come out on the U.S. community also, he's our person, our connection with you.
So the location you mentioned about the night work was Con Ed, if you remember, right? You brought it to my attention, and we did issue summonses. They did not have permits for that. So we did issue summonses. And again, for everybody, most over here have my number. If you see any street closures in the community, please, like Moshe does, Rabbi Indik and Rabbi Sam Stern sometimes send it to me, the location, and I will follow up and I have enforcement come out. Promise you.
I just add for that, Penny does an amazing job, as well as Moshe Davis, Uri Frankel, when working with the DDC and to ensuring when there's city construction that needs to be delayed to the holidays or something. We work alongside community leaders all the time to ensure if there's any disruptions, that the respect for the community for the holiday is always observed, and we work around. Be from Williamsburg to Sheepshead Bay, we ensure that we work with the schedules with DDC to ensure that.
And that was a good observation on your part, that everyone is trying to use an emergency as a justification. Penny went in, found that it was not an emergency, and they got issued a citation.
I should respond. Yes, I've reached out plenty of times, Penny. Always, he's faster than me, gets it up fit, and makes sure. Penny, thank you. Yes, Fred, Moshe Davis, and Frankel, they've always been helping out, do things right. Thank you.
The hardest job in governmental service is working for me. Trust me. We're nonstop.
Thanks. Next question is Eric Laxton, I think it's spelled.
How are you, Eric?
Good first name.
Yes.
My name is Eric Lawton, and I'm a leader on the Better Bedford Coalition. I'm a Bed-Stuy resident, and we partnered with other Black-led cycling organizations in Bed-Stuy, such as Good Co., Night Riders, Black Girls Do Bike, and we all petitioned and advocated for this bike lane on Bedford Ave after the horrible deaths and crashes. I just have a couple stats. Since the pandemic, we've had 5 people killed on Bedford, and none since the bike lanes went in. We've also seen a 25% drop in injuries. And I want to say that I hear that people are worried that their kids are getting hit by the bikes, and I want to lead with empathy and find a solution where we can work together, but we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. We need to find a solution where the school buses specifically, have a dedicated space for their kids to be dropped off that doesn't block the bike lane, that lets everyone's space. And if that means that there's less car parking for safety, then that's what has to happen.
Thank you, Eric.
Tapucci. Sorry, this spelling.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. My name is Asher Tapuchi. I'm a member of Community Board 3, and I'm also on the Transportation Committee of Community Board 3, where we actually recently passed a resolution calling on the DOT at the committee level to revisit the Bedford Avenue bike lane and see what can be done because of all of the accidents and the problems. But today I'm here as a resident. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you for coming out here and taking the time to listen to our concerns. We really appreciate that. Secondly, in regards to the bike lane, there's been a lot of talk lately about the redesign of the BQE, and there's a lot of talk about permanently keeping the BQE by the Bedford Heights Promenade down to 2 lanes so that the residents of the neighborhood should have less pollution and less noise. So basically, we're ready to impact hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers who use the BQE every day to get to work, to deliver their stuff. We're ready to impact them so that the residents of the community near the BQE should be more comfortable. The question now is, shouldn't we be doing the same thing with Bedford Avenue? We have a big issue with the residents of Bedford Avenue. Not pollution or noise, we have children's lives at stake here. And the effect that it's going to have on the bikers is not going to be the effect that putting 2 lanes on the BQE is going to have on New York. So the question is, should we not be listening more to the concerns of the Bedford Avenue community? And I know Rabbi Niederman said the plan about moving the bike lane to DeKalb Avenue and to Classen Avenue, which really would not affect the bikers in any way, not in their safety, not in their route. The opposite, it would make it easier to get to North Brooklyn. It would make it easier to get to Bushwick and Greenpoint, actually. But even just moving the bike lane on Bedford from Flushing to DeKalb, just turning that bike into a regular bike lane, according to the DOT data, a regular bike lane increases biker safety by 32%, and a protected bike lane increases biker safety by 34%. So that's 2 percentage points. So, of course, I'm sorry to hear about Emily's accident, but the real data is that there's a 2 percentage point increase in biker safety. So it doesn't really pay to put so many kids in danger who we actually had 10, 11 accidents in the last 6 months. So the data might not actually transfer all the way to the DOT because we generally, not all of the people call 911. A lot of people call Hatsala instead, and this data may not be reported to the DOT correctly, but there are countless videos showing accidents, near accidents, and it's not just the kids, it's adults as well. It's dangerous for adults to get hit by a bike too, and it's dangerous for the bikers as well. So, and there's one more point, that a lot of the bike traffic on the bike lane is not bikers, it's mopeds and electric vehicles, delivery bikes, and if that hits a kid, God forbid, we're gonna have a fatality here. So please consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk about the mopeds on the bike lanes. Tell me about that.
The first thing is that if there's someone that we have seen in the city that is pushing all of us to think big, is our Mayor Eric Adams. You talk about the BQE, the mayor brought the Secretary of Transportation to the BQE to see the condition of the BQE. And among all the work that we have to be doing with the consultants, doing all the study, planning for the future of the BQE, the 2-lane or 3-lane is something that still will be defined as we will go into the environmental study in the near future. So I just, again, bringing, because I know the BQE that go from this area all the way to a starting island is like a $5-7 billion project to rebuild it for us and for the future generation. So this is one thing that I say, the 2 or 3 lane is a matter to be decided as we will continue focusing on redesigning the BQE. When it came to safety, I don't want, I think that we already said from the beginning with a question here, we would like to take your suggestion. The mayor is clear, he wants answers soon. So we will hear your plan, we will compare to what we have, we will look at our data. But I can tell you what the mayor is doing right now, is say everyone has to be safe. We need to provide space for everyone, for cars to drive, for people to bike, for people to walk, for those kids that come out from buses to be safe too. So I don't want to jump into what is going to be the final plan because the mayor already gave the direction. Take the plan, compare to what you have, compare your data, and come back to me, and he will make a decision. But what I can tell you is that when people who are using bike these days, the mayor is also pushing everyone. In the past, we say drivers look for pedestrians. Now the mayor is also saying cyclists look for pedestrians. And he's pushing us too to say work together, work hard to reduce the speed limit that we allow e-bike to ride in our street. So again, as someone that has seen, the increase of more people biking, we also know that we had to use our small 350 square miles that we have in our city to provide space to everyone. But we will take back, from your suggestion that you made, comparing your plan, comparing the data, then may you make the final decision.
Thank you for that. So we have a large list of people that signed up. I want to get to anything other than the bike lane, because we got it. We heard you. We heard on both sides, heard from Eric, we heard from you. So is there any other items like was brought up before, any other items that you want to go over outside bike lane items? We want to go to you first, okay? All right, so I'm going to start over. I'm going to start on, yeah. You want we got you. We're going to come to you. I want to start this side and come across. Go ahead. Oh, in the back, Lamona.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. First of all, thank you for coming back to Williamsburg, and thank you for your Commissioner Fred Kreisman for putting together this town hall. Number one, you mentioned you're not a stranger to Williamsburg. I remember you as a lieutenant in the 88th Precinct, so you were Williamsburg close by many, many years ago already. With that said, you mentioned before there's no better friend to the community, to the law enforcement, than the Jewish community. But I would say it goes the other way around as well. Starting out with your Deputy Mayor, Kaz Doherty, well, I'm fortunate to know when he was a brand new police officer back in the 72nd Precinct, many, many, many years ago. And we're fortunate to have him as our Deputy Mayor of Public Safety. What an asset to the city, and we appreciate it. And the same goes with our Chief of Brooklyn North, Chief Henderson, along with the commanders of the precincts around here. Matter of fact, talking about our precinct commander in the 90 precinct, early this morning, all the community leaders got a text from him directly that we're aware of what happened last night, and there will be extra patrol. And it came from all agencies within law enforcement. And that's why the community of Williamsburg and all others are so appreciated to law enforcement, because it goes both ways. And thank you for that. And in the same time, I would like Chief Richie Taylor, not to be forgotten, as you mentioned before, who is a great leader in law enforcement and to the community as well. In closing, I want to say that, Mayor, you mentioned before about the bikers and the community should be sitting together. I will say that much. I'm an Orthodox Williamsburg resident and a biker, so it's here. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Like that. Yeah. This gentleman here in the back, the one with the black jacket on and curls. I'm gonna come to you. Yes.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Mayor, for coming out to listen to the community. My question is, I'm a Bed-Stuy resident, and recently, as you know, there's 2 blocks which became landmarked. There's 1 block on Hart Street, and then there's 1 block on Willoughby. There's around 175 houses, and it's putting on additional restrictions when it comes to permits and when it comes to backyards extensions. And as you know, we have bigger families, and we would like to have, we would like to be able to use up the FAR. And with dealing with additional agencies, it's harder. And for a guy like me, I'm a homeowner, and it's additional cost every month paying for all different type of, architects, and it's a lot of additional cost. My question is if it's possible to do a conditional landmark so all parties can be happy, meaning the front should be landmarked and the back should be removed so everyone can do an extension. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what? First of all, I think we need to do a greater level of education when you landmark. A lot of the homeowners don't realize when you landmark your home, the additional cost, there's only a certain number of contractors you could use. It's a real burden. And I didn't realize they landmark Hart Street. So, yeah, now, so we don't have anyone here from Landmark, right? Okay, so we let us look into that proposal. You know, many longtime residents are having financial challenges when you landmark their blocks, and then they have to deal with repairs. You know, so it's great to keep the tradition of an area, but you don't want to keep it at the expense of those longtime residents losing their homes because they can't keep up with the landmark requirements. They're extremely extensive on what you have to do. So let us look into that and find out, can we have that proposal as you just indicated? All right. Yeah, hold on. Those whose hands were up before is the ones that I'm coming over to over here, because I love the hell out of you guys, but I got to bounce eventually. Yes.
Hi. Thank you so much, Mayor
How
Adams.
are you?
Thank you for your team. My name is Lloyd Feng. I am the chair of the Public Safety and Human Services Committee on Community Board 1. And I just want to thank my colleagues, Rabbi Niederman, Rabbi Indig, Simon Weiser, Joel Gross, and others here for their hard work for our community. I'm not here to talk about the bike lane. I want to respect that. Don't worry. I'm here to talk about illegal cannabis vendors. I think that's something that, bike lane or no bike lane, everybody on our board is 100% against. It is a huge concern. There's a proliferation all over Williamsburg and Greenpoint. I'm pretty sure Bed-Stuy has a problem with this. It's like all over the city. We did invite Chief Miranda and his team to present, but we're wondering, how can we do more? And what can you and your team do more? We are eager to work with you and your team on this, and so we invite you to Community Board 1 anytime. But we really need to get a hold of the illegal cannabis situation. It's like also hurting the legal cannabis vendors. I know people who smoke weed legally, and the illegal weed is dangerous and really concerning, right? So definitely, please send somebody from your team over to Community Board 1. We're really happy to work on this ASAP.
Big issue, big issue. When they first passed the law in Albany, they passed the law without the restrictions. At one time, NYPD could not go in and do enforcement. And we went back to Albany and fixed Andrew Cuomo's law, you know, to make sure it was done correctly. And so now we have to go in and do our enforcement. We closed down 1,400 shops. And if there are still locations, you let us know. So, Kaz,
yeah, hey, Mayor, just you forgot, you said that we closed down 1,400 shops. We did. We also did inspections of 5,236 locations. Out of those inspections, 1,400, like you said, were closed. In Brooklyn, 425. I actually looking at my chat, my text now. They just closed 2 more shops in Brooklyn. So over $96 million in illegal products seized since we started doing these inspections and closing down these shops.
Yeah, so we're with you. I think the legalization of cannabis, if it's done correctly, is effective for so many reasons. I'm a big concern about the consumptions of young people. You know, our young people are smoking a lot on their way to school. That's one of my major concerns. But we have been zeroing in on illegal shops. We're finding guns inside there. We're finding all other lace, as you said, is dangerous. And so we're zeroing in on illegal cannabis.
Yeah, and Paul from my team, can we just get his information? I'll be more than happy to go to Community Board 1 and tell him about all the good success this administration has done in regards to shutting down illegal cannabis shops.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on. We're going to do 5 more, Mona. 5.
I'm number 1. You said that you're not new to Williamsburg.
Yes.
and neither am I. Probably every Jewish person in here knows me somehow, some way. But we need you to be mayor again. I've been here 62 years. I did my own police work. I was a contractor. And I took all the drug addicts and all of the alcoholics off the street and put them to work. Now, just as a history for me in the past, my neighbors were saying, why you have so many the bad guys in front of the buildings 5 o'clock in the morning? And I said, well, you know, I'm putting them to work. They're not breaking in your cars. They come early because I give them $3. This is 40, 50 years ago. I give them $3 to get a bag of dope to get straight and $2 to buy coffee and a piece of bread. That's just to give you an example of who I am. So they kept bothering me. But we go to shul in the morning. We're scared to come out. I said, don't worry. You don't have to be scared. They're here with me. They're not looking to rob you. So anyway, it got to the point that they got upset. And I said, well, go to the Jewish press and find out how many cars got broken in last month. How many houses got broken in last month? Okay, we're going to check. And they did check. And the numbers went down because I had them working. So that's the first part of Williamsburg. I came from Bed-Stuy to Williamsburg. It's the only place that I can go, get up at 3 in the morning and go to the store without worrying. I don't wear no jewelry. This is not a real goal, you know, but I can go to the store in the middle of the night. That's because of you. I know that you're doing your job here. And it's because of the Jewish community takes care of the area they live in. So I'm happy to live here. My little issue that I have, I don't want to take your time now because everybody had their time. How long I got? Okay. I want you to know that my issue is with NYCHA.
NYCHA?
Yeah. We've been there for many years. If you rode your bike when I first moved there, I was 9 years old. They give you a $5 fine. You can't ride on the grounds. You can't ride on the sidewalks. And right now, after COVID, they're riding scooters on the sidewalk. They're riding bikes, speed. They're speeding. The scooters that go 40 miles an hour.
Right.
The kids are playing in the project area. And it's very dangerous. It wasn't happening before COVID. If they were on the sidewalk, the cops were pulling them over and giving them a ticket or even taking their bikes. Now they got the motor scooters going on the road. They're riding through the project at 40 miles an hour. The kids are playing there. It's been an issue. So I hope that you can put something together for that piece. I don't want to talk about bikes, but it's a motorbikes. A little different. Then my last issue.
See what happens?
Yeah, no, but I have to get it out.
Let's just give time.
They never give me a chance. Listen, my last issue is that 60 years in Williamsburg, I've been to the shul, and I'm the fastest davener in the place here. I want to say that NYCHA, something is going on there. Might be some kind of discrimination, because before, when there were more Jews in the building, we felt even safe. I get up in the morning, I get in the elevator, hey, I get the Mardigan. Good morning, I get the Mardigan. Now there's less. I think that something's going on with discrimination from putting Jews in the building. But they're putting a lot of sick people in there. I say sick people need a place to go to. This girl in my building that smokes crack in the elevator with kids in it. She's just stuck on it. So
which building are you talking about?
Jonathan Williams.
Okay. First
Williams
of all, we can't have any discrimination in housing in the city. We're extremely aggressive on that, and we were the first administration that included NYCHA in our housing proposal. We've done everything from free high-speed broadband for NYCHA residents to having NYCHA land trusts, because we know when you have an $80 billion capital deficit, you have to find ways to improve capital deficit. You have to find ways to improve it. So NYCHA is crucial to us. And our HBD, we're focused on making sure NYCHA is given the respect that it deserves, but there's a real budget problem. But listen, you raised something that's so important that, many folks don't remember the Williamsburg of the 70s, of the 80s. It was a challenging place.
Oh, yeah.
It was a challenging place.
We should have bought some buildings there, too.
Right.
That challenge.
And this community, you held it down. You created your own safety patrol. You built out your school system. It has grown immensely. You have responded to the call. You've built out your business. And it just goes to show you that in this city is one of the most diverse. I was speaking with Commissioner Castro the other day. We speak 700 different languages in this city. It's unbelievable how well we are able to coexist with so much diversity in this city. And you're representative of that. The fact that you grew up in Williamsburg, that says a lot. And continue to watch this community prosper and grow. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Regards to the bikes.
Yeah, and just a second to talk about the e-bikes. The commissioner put something in place where we're enforcing harder on these e-bikes who are riding on the streets, not obeying the traffic laws. In the past, they used to get B summonses. Now they're getting C. C summonses mean they have to go to court and be held accountable for them. So the enforcement will be coming out. Okay.
We want to remind people to be short in questions, so this way we could.
Yeah. And we removed over 80,000 illegal e-bikes, dirt bikes, three-wheelers, ghost cars. We did not walk past this disruption in our city. Who's going to who? Who's going to who? Hercules. It's always hold on, we're going to come to you. Always at the end of the meeting that everybody want a question. You know that?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. It's an honor and a pleasure.
I have so much to do. All you are going to go home and get in your pajamas. I got 4 more events. I agree. Everybody's saying that. So now if you have just a question. Now, a question is that thing that has the question mark at the end of the sentence, not an exclamation point. If you have just a question, and I'm going to hold the mic because once you leave the question to do something else, the mic is going away. A question.
I just hit 65 today. I'm going to retire.
Next. Who's next? You got a question?
Yeah.
You got a question? You don't start a question. I just hit 65 today.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joseph. Just one quick question. Can we have like a city lot or something for the school buses to park instead of... Yeah. For the school buses to park instead of having them all over the streets, taking away parking from cars. And we can't warm the buses in the morning because the...
Okay, your question was city lot. Does that make sense at all, Commissioner? Is there a city lot for the buses to park? DCAS? Okay, let's see if that makes sense to the DCAS commissioner. He's not here, but let's see if that makes sense. Question. How are you? Question.
I'd like
because you're a young man, the rule is still going to apply.
I don't have a question. I just
like
like to thank you.
Okay, you could talk longer.
No. I'd like to thank you for the bike lane on Bedford Avenue.
That's right. Everybody voice is heard. Everybody voice is heard.
Every week I go to an extracurricular activity, and the Bedford bike lane that helps me go on the inside of the sidewalk, that stops me from getting hit by cars who are double parked, really helps me. And I'm very thankful. And
Thank you. Thank you for speaking up.
try to conclude.
Yeah. Question. Nope. I hold the mic.
I have a friend that works at a big developer company, and he has an issue with HPD, and it takes months and months that it gets resolved the issue. And they keep ignoring phone calls and emails. Is there any?
What is it with HPD?
Yeah. I will give you in private. It's a big issue, and it takes months to get it resolved. They're ignoring emails, ignoring phone calls. Is there any way?
So if you stay here, we have Deputy Commissioner Santiago here. If it's a private issue, you want to talk to her, you can talk to her on the side.
Come and see her before you leave, okay? All right?
So
all right?
we're just going to end it. We first I want to just thank the organizers.
No. Question. Yeah. What's up? Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor, about 200 buildings, including a lot of yeshiva buildings in this area, have been penalized by the DOB, and there's no one to talk to. It's really 6 months communicating with an email box, and that's basically it.
That can't happen. All right?
We'll organize a meeting if there's an issue with regards to that. I'm here after the meeting. The mayor's going to have to leave, but I'll be here to follow up with the staff.
That can't happen. People got to get back to you. Listen, got to go.
So I just want to tell everyone, anyone who didn't have a chance to ask their question, with staff on the side, please, let's give out the cards, the question cards. If your question wasn't asked, we'll get back to you. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to thank Moshe Davis, Pierre Gideon, our Brooklyn director, Ori Frankel, and the rest of the staff here for helping organize this event.